Coding heroes. How do you feel about coding heroes? You ever heard that terminology before? Yeah, it's kind of funny. Quite often, this notion of having a person who is actually like going to run in and save the day and do various things in a software project is seen as toxic and something which is kind of painful in the context of all sorts of software development. And we've done so much to basically make workplaces as egalitarian as possible and have nice teams without much in the way of lines of authority or stuff like this. But I saw a very interesting paper about a month ago, and it's kind of a shame that they use this term heroes because it's kind of triggering. But this is the title of the paper. It's called Why Software Projects Need Heroes, Lessons Learned from over 1,000 Projects. Now, they're using the word hero there for a project, and they say a hero project is essentially a project where about 80% of the contribution comes from 20% of the participants. And they're not talking about, they're measured this stuff, they're not talking about just the commits, they're also talking about the amount of involvement in conversations through, say, Slack and various different media. But they've done these measurements across like over 1,000 open source projects and discovered that this tends to be true. And it's even more bizarre than that. It turns out that when you look at the quality of the contributions, the resulting quality on the software, it turns out the higher quality contributions come from the ones that contribute the most. So this is kind of bizarre. Does this fit your picture of the way things work in software development? I've had people go and say, okay, well, this is only open source, but then I've talked to people who basically go around and do measurements in different organizations. They say, not really. You'll see the same kind of Pareto contribution graph across most proprietary development. And the thing that's interesting is we can look at this and say, this is a problem to be solved, or we can go and say, well, if this is the way things kind of work, can we kind of basically sort of work with this and make it humane and make sure nobody's being overworked and do different things to make sure that everything works out okay? When I read about this, one of the things I started thinking about was, again, Fred Brooks' The Mythical Man Month. He referred to some theories of Harlan Mills way back in the early day. And they had this concept at IBM. They called it the chief programmer team. And what their idea was to go and basically have like one or two people who are just like strong devs and have other people basically support them as they're going and developing the system. The theory behind this was that essentially the best thing you can probably have in a system is to have coherence of vision such that the software that you develop looks like it basically emerged from a single mind, right? And so their mechanism for doing this was to go and say, look, let's go ahead and have a couple of people that do all the coding and other people that act in support roles to go make sure that everything goes okay with quality, with administrative, and all these different things. Now, when you look at this, it seems almost like Neanderthal, doesn't it? It seems pretty archaic and not the kind of thing that might fly today. But recently I've been talking to quite a few people across organizations and seeing places where they have like 2-, 3-person teams, and they try to do a lot in the context of support around these things. Had an interesting conversation last night over dinner, just as I'm playing around with these ideas, about this entire thing of team history, right? What do we do to basically record the architectural decisions that we have made over time in a code base? And one of the things that's possible is maybe we just need to hire people that can basically record decisions as they occur and not even writing code at all. Kind of an interesting thing. So I'm not here to offer solutions, but just going to kind of point out that essentially it's like if we kind of take this as the thing which tends to happen in systems, what does that mean for us? And we have lots of choices in the context of that.